So, the Supreme Court of the United States gave the green light to President Trump's changes to birthright citizenship. But what does that mean for families, children, and the future of U.S. immigration? Let's break it down simply, and I hope you all understand this issue. Well, as you guys know, for over the past 160 years, the United States has been doing something that only a few other countries in the world do, giving birthright citizenship to children born in the U.S., regardless of the parent's legal status. Any couple from any part of the world, if they give birth to their child in the U.S., that child automatically becomes a U.S. citizen. It doesn't matter if the parents came to the U.S. legally, illegally, or if they're criminals or dangerous people. If their child is born in the U.S., that child is a U.S. citizen. And because of this, the U.S. is often referred to as the land of anchor babies, where non-U.S. parents give birth to their child in the U.S. with the hope that the child's citizenship could help the family gain legal status or facilitate future immigration benefits. As you can imagine, being a U.S. citizen comes with huge privileges, but that's a topic for another video. Now, all of this was going smoothly until the Simpsons' prediction became a reality, and President Trump became president again. On his first day in office, President Trump issued an executive order aimed at ending birthright citizenship for children born to undocumented immigrants. The idea was to stop children born in the U.S. from automatically getting citizenship if their parents are in the country illegally.
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
Good. That's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one in the course? That one is likely to be challenged.
Could be. We think we have good grounds, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, we'll see. We have very good grounds.
And what happened after this executive order? Well, you can guess. President Trump faced a lot of backlash from immigrant rights groups, states, and legal experts who argued that this was against the 14th Amendment, which guarantees citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil. Plus, some women were even going to extreme lengths, like getting 4 C-sections to get their babies out early just to secure U.S. citizenship. It's a wild, sinister act, with some mothers literally trying to pull out their premature babies, who still need time to develop, just for U.S. citizenship. But now the Supreme Court has weighed in on this historic issue and delivered a significant decision. While the court didn't rule on the constitutionality of the executive order, it sided with the President Trump administration by rejecting the nationwide injunctions issued by lower courts. What does that mean? Well, for now, the order can go into effect in states where it hasn't been challenged. And if you're wondering whether any other country in the world has done something similar to the U.S. with birthright citizenship, then the answer is yes. Many countries around the world, especially in Europe and parts of Asia, have either eliminated or severely limited birthright citizenship to curb birth tourism and immigration concerns. For instance, Germany, Austria, and other European Union countries only offer conditional birth citizenship, such as requiring the child's parents to have legal residency for several years before the child can claim citizenship. The UK ended birthright citizenship for most people in 1983, requiring at least one parent to be a British citizen or settled in the country for the child to acquire citizenship. So the U.S. is not a unique case. Initially, lower courts had blocked the order from being enforced nationwide, but the Supreme Court allowed it to move forward in the 28 states that hadn't filed challenges. They did impose a 30-day delay before the order can take effect, giving opponents a little more time to regroup and continue their fight. But make no mistake, this is a huge win for the Republican Party. But this has now created a patchwork system where a child's citizenship could depend on where they are born. Confusing, right? This could mean that some children might be citizens in one state, but not in another. So what's at stake here? Well, if this order goes into full effect, it could leave many children stateless. For example, babies born to undocumented immigrants in states that support the order could be denied U.S. citizenship, and some might even face deportation. That could create a situation where children born on U.S. soil have no nationality at all, which could expose them to all kinds of legal issues. Some experts even say they might not even get birth certificates in the first place. And it gets even more complicated. Babies born to parents on temporary visas, like student or work visas, would also be ineligible for birthright citizenship. These children could end up inheriting their parents' temporary status, meaning they wouldn't be able to access many of the benefits U.S. citizens enjoy, like health insurance or education programs. The same is true for a lot of other people who are in the process of getting U.S. citizenship. Getting any country's citizenship is tough, but getting U.S. citizenship legally is nearly impossible. The waiting period to become a U.S. citizen can sometimes cross 100 years, and the number of documents required is endless and confusing. So now what? Well, there's still a lot of uncertainty. Immigrant rights groups and legal experts are retooling their lawsuits. Many of them are aiming for class action status, meaning they'll try to represent a larger group, potentially millions of people affected by the policy. These lawsuits will continue to work their way through the courts. In fact, civil rights groups like the ACLU are already preparing lawsuits to stop the order, arguing that the Constitution guarantees this right and that no executive order should be able to change it. Even if the Supreme Court eventually rules that President Trump's executive order is unconstitutional, things could still get messy. Republican supporters might take to the streets, leading to intense clashes between groups with opposing views on the issue. The situation could quickly escalate into widespread unrest, drawing national and even global attention as the public grapples with a highly divisive topic. The number of illegal immigrants in the U.S. is in the millions, so they're not going to stay quiet. A lot of protests will happen, and they may even turn violent, especially in places like Los Angeles or New York. Thousands of children born in the U.S. over the next few months could find themselves denied citizenship, which is heartbreaking, but again, this is a tricky situation. Look, for many families, birthright citizenship is the only pathway to legal stability in the U.S. And while President Trump administration might argue that this order is about protecting the integrity of U.S. citizenship, critics say it's part of a broader effort to dismantle protections for immigrants. Also, forget about the bureaucratic process. I don't think President Trump administration will spend any money and time digging into the origins of millions of undocumented people. They will just throw out undocumented or illegal people and their children to any random safe country. Ultimately, the future of birthright citizenship is uncertain. Whether it's overturned or upheld, the social and legal fallout could be profound. Now that I've covered the facts, it's time for you to make your voice heard. Whether you're for or against the executive order, the debate about birthright citizenship is far from over. What do you think about the Supreme Court's decision? Should birthright citizenship be protected, or is it time to rethink it? Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day.